beats a zero.
We make everything look good, including being overweight. So, scientifically, you cannot drink alkaline water and it makes your cells alkaline.
The closer you are to nature, the healthier you will be.
All right. Happy Saturday, everyone. Happy Saturday. You are in the Mind of Nature, hosted by Dr. Zarif, the nutritionist. And today we are talking about Ozempic. Ozempic era is only just beginning. We're going to talk about measles, Texas measles breakout that reaches 400 cases. Also, bird flu and diphtheria. So thank you all so much for joining us here today. We are live streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Please go ahead and share the live, have others be a part of the conversation. We already know this is well needed information, and we are here to bring it to you. So, Dr. Zarif, go ahead and join me here on the stage so we can get started. How are you?
fantastic, Care. How's it going with you?
Going great. It's going great.
Beautiful. Well, the thing that is very important about today, and good morning and salutations to everybody else out there listening. We appreciate you being here today. But what we need to do is take this energy and we need to make it work for us. That is, that we need to put it in action. The people, especially Black people, I don't think we really are. I think we're improving incredibly, okay, as far as, eating healthier and being aware of that. But I'm also aware that we are addicted to the very foods that make us sick. So we have to work on this harder. I'm going to talk to you about a few things that these things are trending, and we want to get some handle on it. But be sure to know this, that we cannot sit around and wait until we get sick or something happens that these fools that are up in the White House continues to do. And I'm talking about the people, all the racist. Look, I don't want to get into a political thing, but I got to talk about it a little bit because this is really a hazard to our health if we think that somebody's going to come along and say, all right, good, you're sick, now you feel better, or toss us some handy wipes, or I'm not going to do that kind of thing. I suggest that all the brothers, all the men of our community stand up, stand out, and be heard. Make sure that your families are fed the healthiest foods. You want to make sure that we are lowering the risk of disease and infection, not making just sitting back and waiting until it happens. Okay, so let's get it on, Care. We'll go ahead and let's go to the uh, let's go to the slides. Okay, so we first of all we start off with the Ozempic. Now, Ozempic, you've seen these commercials of late, and the commercials that you've seen, they say in the commercial that they guarantee that a person will lose weight. So I really want to look into that because Ozempic, uh, when you ask that a question that if it's okay, is it safe for me? Well, is it, or even if you want to know if it's approved. Now that's kind of really messed up because today, we have the RFK Jr. That's supposed to be the I don't know, he the captain of a ship when it's talking about healthy or health and our fitness and the medications and all of those things. But Ozempic is not FDA approved for weight loss. Another brand is called Wegovy, And Wegovy is also a semaglutide, and experts share that the people who are not diabetic or obese, they should not use the Wegovy or the Ozempic for any reason, including losing small amounts of weight. Ozempic originally created um, it was created to really battle or to resolve our or treat the type 2 diabetes. And it's shown that our promise as an aid for weight loss and reducing the belly fat. Uh, let's bring up the belly fat fast. And you see all of this is just really something that a lot of people carry around. It's become norm, uh, and that's a lot of excess fat that wears on the body. So we definitely want to look more into the individuals that are uh, plagued by this type of eating, because there's nothing normal about it. We are being very gluttonous as we continue to eat in the way that we do. Our eyes roll back and we have euphoria unmentionable. This is something that makes us feel good. We look forward to it, and now it's acting just like a drug. Okay, we can go back to our normal. Yeah, the thing that's important today, I really want to prepare you mentally and physically before starting on the Ozempic treatment. And that's is very crucial, including setting realistic weight loss goals and devising a diet or a balanced diet plan. That's really important because we are just eating, getting up and from day to day, we don't know what's going to happen. We know we're going to eat something, but we have no idea what we're going to eat. And we don't think about it enough to say, you know what? I am going to be working very hard today out in the garden or raking leaves or mopping floors or cleaning up or washing clothes. This is in addition to what you usually do. Well, what do you need? You need additional units of heat and energy, which we call calories. So it's really important that we understand if we change our uh, what we're going to be doing that during that day, and it's taking physical strength in order to do it. You should be eating in a way that resolves your hunger or your lack of energy situation. Now, the Ozempic works by mimicking the GLP-1 hormone, and which regulates the hunger and the appetite that we're talking about now. This leads to suppressed cravings and increased feelings of fullness after eating, facilitating the calorie reduction. Okay, so there is the food there, or the using the Ozempic or a shot of Ozempic will definitely start to suppress your cravings, and it will increase the feelings of fullness. And this is after you eat. The effects of Ozempic actually build over the 6 weeks. In the first couple of weeks, you involve adjustment, but by weeks 4 and 6, increased energy, visible weight loss. There's also waist reduction that come to fruition. However, some may experience side effects like being nauseous. Nausea is really one of the things initially you might go through a lot of reverse peristalsis, throwing up, and this is something that will just be temporary for most people. Now, clinical studies, they actually validate the weight and belly fat loss capabilities of Ozempic, mainly when used with diet and lifestyle changes. Now, one study showed that a dose dependent efficiency, higher doses led to increased reduction, weight reduction, we're talking about now, while promising the weight loss. Ozempic has these side effects to be aware of, like your GI issues. GI stands for gastrointestinal. So the gastrointestinal problems that we can have, which I'll be going over today to make you more aware of those things that we should be aware of when we are taking Ozempic or if you are contemplating it. Now, the latest literature is that you can actually order Ozempic by just writing out a few answers on the questionnaire, and you can actually get Ozempic as an OTC or over-the-counter drug. So, wow, it's almost like, hey, let's wait and watch and see what happens. But many people, many celebrities have backed it up like they usually do. I don't say all of them, but there are people that actually, when a celebrity backs something, there's like, oh, you know what? That's the truth because I'm a fan, and that's what works. Medication for the medication facilitates, but it does not replace healthy eating and exercise. So the medicine, it facilitates, meaning that you're going to get the results from it, but it doesn't replace eating healthy, and it doesn't replace motion, taking motion. Just don't, when you do take it, you end up taking it and you're not exercising, you're not getting good sleep, you're not living a regular life. You start to live this mannequin life, and that can be pretty bad. Now, although noticeable progress may come in 6 weeks, research shows that the better weight loss effects in the long term. So the Ozempic, it actually helps to kickstart transformation, but sustained lifestyle commitment is critical for maintaining success. So I want to go over to measles now. Now, measles is like a childhood. We hear that more when we talk about when we're talking about measles. We're talking about a situation that we usually hear about in children, and it's like a childhood disease. But according to the Texas measles breakouts, there's been over 400 cases now, and there also been a few cases that are older people, although not as much as younger. But we'll go over that shortly here. Measles are just to get a good idea, because when I think about measles, you think about all the little bumps. I remember seeing children with those bumps, and they were doing, even back then, some sardine oil, hydrogen peroxide. They had cod liver oil. All of these different, ever since I've been on the planet, they had, everybody, or some people anyway, has like different approaches to disease. But again, we're going to talk a little bit more about science, because science is the proof that these particular things work. So back to measles. Now, measles is one of the most contagious diseases, and it can be dangerous in babies and young children. And the best protection against measles is the MMR vaccine. Now, some people are against vaccines, but to this date, the best proof to save the widespread of measles is still the MMR vaccine. Now, measles is one of the most contagious, as I said before, and that's the reason that it is important that we get a handle on it, because being one of the most contagious diseases, it spreads fast, and it can do big damage to the children or those who contract it. Now let's just talk about some measles cases and outbreaks. Now, what to know is updated on just March. That's just last month, March the 28th. The data on all of the stuff that we, especially confirming that the measles reported cases to the CDC has been that was done as early as I think the last Thursday of last month. I have to check. But there are five outbreaks currently defined as three or more related cases. And that was reported also this year. And 93% of confirmed cases. Now, 93% of confirmed cases, that's 447 of 483. Now, that's crazy. That's almost 100% are breakout associated. And then you have well, let's make a comparison. If you have 16 outbreaks were reported during 2024, and 69% of the cases, which is 198 out of 285, were outbreak associated. Now, in the United States, there were also cases that this year so far, the under 5 years old, 157 individuals, those children, 157, which was 33%. And then 5 to 19 years old, there were a total of 204 cases. That's 42%. And then we had 20 plus years. These are people that are 20 and over. There were 111 cases, and ages unknown were about 11 people. And that's just 2%. Now, I want to go back to the MMR vaccinations, and they're also unvaccinated. If you unvaccinated or unknown, guess what? You're in the higher percentage of those who that we're looking at, or that scientists are looking at for vaccinated status. One MMR dose, and that is for the shot of vaccine, is most individuals who have had the shot, they only had one MMR dose, and that's 1%. But 2% of those who had the vaccine, they had two MMR doses. Okay, so even if we look at those people that wanted to do the right thing and went out to get vaccines, you see it's still a very, very low number. Now, there are also hospitalizations this year, as a matter of fact. 14% of the cases have been hospitalized. And so far in the United States, there's been 483 cases that have been 483 cases, and 70 out of that 403 have been hospitalized. So that, you see, that's 14%, but that's a huge amount in any case, because I mean, even just one person that's suffering from something that may be easily avoided by a vaccine can end up suffering. Okay, so those are some numbers that I want to share with you. But I do also want to share with you the United States deaths. Now, fortunately, there has just been one confirmed death, and that's just this year. And there also been one death. It was another death, but it's under investigation now. So measles are definitely something that we should take seriously, and not something that we can just like, hey, I'm just going to drink some herbal tea and it's going to go away. We got to be sensible about these things, because they can wipe out generations of people. Now, let's just look at briefly the measles cases in 2024. Just taking it back, uh, as of December the 31st, 2024, a total of 285 measles cases were reported by 33 jurisdictions. And that was, well, I'm not going to go through all of them, but it was like Arizona, California, District of Columbia. We had Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, New Jersey, New Mexico, on and on and on. It's just really many of the jurisdictions that had measles cases. Now, there have been 16 outbreaks defined as three or more related cases. And that was reported in 2024. And 69% of the cases, that's 198 people of 285, are outbreak associated. Uh, and we also make another comparison. Four outbreaks were reported during 2023, and 49% of the cases was the 49% was 50, that's 59 people, but 29 out of those 59 were outbreak associated. Let's next we want to go to the bird flu. Now I know a lot of people when you talk about the bird flu, this is something that well, I think that we need to really look at because it's something that is easily um, looked over because we've had that same association with 2020 activity when we were talking about the COVID-19 came from a bird, it came from a some sick animal. I've heard a lot of stuff. A monkey, you've probably heard your share too. But we want to talk about more of this as we continue. We're going to break right now to let you know who you're listening to and where you are. Care.
Thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Thank you to everyone that's joined us here in the Mind of Nature. Today, we are talking about several topics. We spoke about Ozempic earlier. Dr. Zarif broke down the information about measles, that measles outbreak, and now a bird flu. So, thank you all so much for joining us. We are live streaming on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. So, please go ahead and share the live, have others be a part of the conversation. I always love hearing from you guys, everybody. So again, go ahead and share the live. We are here 8 a.m. Pacific time every Saturday morning. So thank you all so much for joining us. Let me just go ahead and give some shout outs just really fast. Let's see here. Let's see. Allison Gento saying, hello, family and friends. Hello, hello to you. Thanks for joining us here. Yolanda, good morning to you. Let me see here. I wanted to go here where you mentioned when we were talking about Ozempic. No Ozempic for me. Big Mama going to the gym, the healthier way, the healthier way, along with proper nutrition. Yes, that's what we love to hear. Thank you.
That's
Thank you so
great.
much.
She's a smart woman anyway. Yeah, I know she wasn't going to just throw.
Right, exactly. And Michelle, hello to you. She said RFK is a drug addict himself. So what more than
That's
himself?
right.
Don't trust him. Yes. That's what,
Definitely.
and that's why I like to read. I love to read the comments just to hear, what everybody else is saying. So yes, thank you so much. Hey, yeah. And that's all I'm gonna say about that. Lisa, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us here. Denise Kane, hey, good morning. Thank you.
Hey,
Thank
sis.
you for the subjects. Yes, absolutely. Always great subjects, and that's what we bring here in the Mind of Nature. So thank you again, everyone, for sharing your thoughts on the subjects that we've been talking about. Dr. Zarif has been breaking it down for us. So let's go.
Let's do it. I want to go over here and look at Instagram right fast and want to say thank you to Sky Aim Productions for being here today and Eclipse Soleil. is in the house also. So thank you very much for being the rest of you over at Instagram. Really appreciate it. And we really appreciate that our subscriptions are shooting up, and it's because you are getting the word out. So thank you very, very much. And all the likes that we're getting, is wow. We're just very, very thankful for that, because we do work really hard to bring you the latest information and updated information. Okay. So let's go ahead, shall we? And we'll talk about the bird flu. Now, bird flu, you might hear it also said as H5N1. And that bird flu, that is the strain. And it is really important for us to stay on top of this, because if we do, just like Shell was saying, the people in the White House are just as kooky as they come. These are some no irresponsible ass, no, I can't even think of anything to say that I can really get a good bite, because I don't want to disrespect you. I want you to know that and I'm not disrespecting you by cursing, but these are just some lazy ass, illegal ass, no good ass, individuals that have no remorse for the way that they harm people in general. Starting with including the wars and what we're eating, and taking away the different benefits to our veterans, to mess up, all in the groceries. You can't even get everything. You see how some of these people that are really not interested in what you're going through, because they don't consider you them. They consider themselves being superior to everybody, and if you ain't white, then you ain't right. That's the bottom line for these people. Um, so I'm going to get back over here to bird flu, because this is something that you can look out ahead of time. Be proactive. Don't wait until you get sick and then say, I got to go and work out. Or don't wait until you get sick and say, I got to get to bed earlier and get some rest. Don't wait until you get sick and just say, I'm hanging around the wrong crowd. Be around people that love you and you love them back. You see, it's as simple as that. Don't tell me that I had to put up with it for years. So let's stop that nonsense. Okay, let's get back over here to the signs and the symptoms of bird flu in people. So we know that other animals have been a part of this report too, but it's really important to know. I'll give you some key points. That most human cases of bird flu are caused by the avian influenza, which is AH5 virus. In the United States, that is, it's had a mild effect to most of the people in general so far, and most were people who had had a known exposure to stick or infected animals. So the infected animals, like when people are around an animal that they know that is infected, but they still, got them licking all in the face and playing with them and all that. I get it. I love animals too, but you got to have the boundaries. You have to have boundaries. And some people go to bed with their dog in the bed with them. Like it's much too far. But if you take those risks, that's the risk that you want to take. There are things that are prohibited when it comes to animals. And some people go, they put in the extras on it. Um, the severity of illness associated with bird flu has ranged from mild to severe, including death. So this is no joke. This isn't something like, you eating a chicken, and the chicken went bad and you put some ketchup on it, and and kind of you just don't want to taste it. You got to pay attention to what you're doing, especially now that we risk the chance of people that don't know what they don't know what the heck they're talking about. And what happens with these kind of people is that they continue to do whatever it is that support their pockets, that support their publicity, that support their movements, whatever they got going on, this little cult that they have going on. And these people have been around for years. Take time to read about eugenics, where you had people, including scientists, that lied about the superiority that Caucasians had over all other people, saying that everybody else, according to their skull or their skeletal system, that they were closer to being like wild animals. And all of this happened, and that's what Hitler did. Hitler actually took eugenics and he started to use that frame of thinking for his movement. So you had a lot of people, white faced, blue eyed, blonde hair, and there's nothing really wrong with that if it don't come with all of the bullshit that we have to put up with constantly. We're doing great, Black folks, and you got to continue to stick to a way of communicating with other people, that not that want to go out and hurt people. I'm not suggesting that. Not that want to take anything away from anybody. Look, I'm talking to people that love the skin that they're in. Every nap, every juicy lips, every nose, every ear, every chocolate face. I'm talking about people that are proud. And if you can't do enough, then do what you can do. Do what you can do. Do whatever you are. Do with whatever you have. And all of us have to pitch in. I'm pitching in my little piece. It might seem like, oh, well, there aren't a million people, but guess what? There's somebody. If we save one life at a time, we can get people to wake up and they can start eating better. They can get that rest. They can get that exercise, and they can be in great communion with people of their way of thinking and their religion and their family and their ideas and ideals. Now, the reported signs and symptoms of bird flu in humans have varied. Uh, Eye redness has been one of the predominant symptoms among recent United States cases of the avian influenza AH5, and this is a virus infection. Respiratory symptoms and fever were also reported. And remember, you had many people during 2020, and they had you can take your temperature in many places, but they had the apparatus that they took to monitor the temperature. There's a possibility that human infections with avian influenza virus that result in severe illness remains and underscores the importance of ongoing prevention and surveillance efforts. Now, let's look at some of the mild symptoms, and you might have these, and some of you may be asymptomatic. I'll go over that later. But the mild signs and the symptoms of bird flu in people may include eye redness and irritation, and that's simply called conjunctivitis. Okay, and that's that redness in their eye and it's irritating. And then there's a mild fever, and that's a temperature of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And those of you that are on other metric system, that's 37.8 degrees Celsius or greater. And the whole feeling of feverish, like when your body is starting to getting real hot and you can't figure out why it's getting hot because you're not sitting by a heater. What is going on? So a lot of times, again, go in. Don't wait until you get very, very sick or severely sick, go as soon as you get those symptoms going, get tested for it at your urgent care center, your PCP, what have you. Also, a cough can be involved in mild symptoms: sore throat, runny nose, and stuffy nose. Sometimes very hard for you to breathe and blowing your nose over and over. And sometimes it's so bad that you rubbing your nose way too hard. And if you really want to know over time when you're doing that, it can rearrange the way that your face looks, because usually it's so irritating that you put much too much strength on your scratching and releasing yourself of that feeling that you go through when you have allergies. Also, there can be muscle and body aches. It can be headaches. It can be fatigue. Now, the red eye or the eye redness has been a predominant symptom among recent United States cases of the avian influenza AH5. And that is, again, the normal and predominant symptoms include these effects from virus infection. Now, there are less common symptoms, include diarrhea and nausea, along with vomiting. Now, if diarrhea and being nauseous at the same time, that sometimes come along together, but it can be very, very difficult. And especially, you can also go through vomiting, and make sure you go get checked, because, see, these symptoms are very much like if you say, like, I got a headache, or I'm getting feverish, or I feel like I want to throw up, and you do throw up, and you got diarrhea, and you have to, manage that whole situation. That can also be other things, like even when you get foodborne sickness, that can be other things. So fever may not always be present, but those other things like diarrhea, nausea, and vomiting. Now, some of the signs and symptoms of a moderate to severe, and this is the people that we might hear about that had to be hospitalized, or these are people that have a very serious case that they need to hurry urgently and get checked. So, the signs and symptoms of moderate to severe disease from bird flu in people may include a high fever or other symptoms listed, on that long list of symptoms. And You want to make sure that you have those four things in motion. That keeps your balance. If you're not getting the right in the right environment, if you're not exercising, eating healthy food, all of those things are important, and getting that sleep. I cannot sleep on sleep. You got to get the sleep, because this is where you do most of your healing. Okay, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, and altered consciousness, and seizures. Now, altered consciousness can be a series of things, but one of the things is vertigo. Vertigo is like when your whole world starts to spin around, and then have had patients that when they get ready to sit down, the couch is way down there, and they feel like they're still reaching, and they don't want to sit down because they feel like they're going to fall off. They're going to hurt themselves, because the warp. It looks like something like they've been taking some LSD, some kind of drug, and the bed. They're reaching for the pillow, but they don't touch it. It's just way down there, and of course, a lot of that, again, that's altered consciousness. And there's a whole lot of other scenarios on that. Now, the complications of bird flu can be or include, but not limited to, pneumonia, respiratory failure, acute respiratory distress syndrome, acute kidney injury, um, all of that stuff, of course, when you start avoiding or negating, I should say, negating and not taking care of business, all of these can get worse. Another one is the multi organ failure. That's where respiratory and kidney failure. And then sepsis, like septic shock, when you're talking about all of the poisons that may be in your blood system, uh, and then inflammation of the brain, and this is uh, meningoencephalus or encephalitis. This is really very important because that is the inflammation of your brain that can cause your brain to swell, and you could end up having to have emergency brain surgery or some other injurious approach. It's very important, everybody, that you go and get yourself checked out. The time from when a person is exposed and infected to the AH5 viruses to the and they have the respiratory symptoms, uh, getting that out, the respiratory symptoms, then it begins about 3 days once you get infected. In 3 days, you might have a range from 2 to 7 days before you see anything. But the eye symptoms, such as the redness and the irritation, they can occur within 2 days after the exposure to infection with the avian influenza virus. A period when the person, if you get this certain infection, the period when people are contagious, for persons with mild illness due to bird flu is not well understood yet. But the thought to be more similar to the seasonal flu. So it's so important here that if you are a period of contagiousness for a person with mild illness due to the bird flu is not well understood, but the thought of being similar to seasonal flu. So that's one of those things that can be idiopathic. They're not sure exactly what it is, and asymptomatic because they're not. Again, you're not getting any clues. Okay. All right. We're getting near the end now. I wanted to just go over a couple more to see if we can squeeze this in. First with dysentery. Now, dysentery is one of those diseases that we all want to know about. Before we go into this any further, what I want to do is go back to Care. There may be some questions or some comments that we need to hear. Care?
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Zarif. Just one thing that I wanted to mention with you talking about bird flu. Now, I know that it's kind of like I think about back when COVID was new, you know, and you had some cases here and there, but it wasn't something that was considered a big deal at the time because there were just some things that were happening.
Yeah.
That's kind of how as far as I feel like with the bird flu and even maybe with measles because you mentioned that earlier too. So it's something to just for people to be aware of and to take seriously because when it comes along or someone that's close to you, when it affects someone that's close to you, then that's when people tend to want to panic and not know what to do. So the information that you're sharing right now to be prepared for it is the information that's needed before it actually hits you, the person, or someone close to you.
That's absolutely right.
Yes.
Carrie, it all comes down to taking care of oneself. Like we've been taught to don't eat until you're hungry, don't drink until you're thirsty.
Mhm.
This after the fact thing. Don't go to the hospital unless you're sick. You're supposed to be doing this stuff before it happens. And
Right.
that's one of the things that, I just mentioned three things that a person should be aware of because when it comes down to it, we can do so much, and
Hmm.
then doctors can do so much. I really think that there are some incredible doctors uh, that, we know these incredible doctors. A lot of times you don't hear about them because they don't, they might not be celebrities, but they're doing an incredible job. And some doctors have been around for our parent and or parents, and then they're around for us, and then some even see our children, and that is something that we have to be able to balance out, that those remarks about, oh no, I ain't letting no doctors do nothing to me. Those kinds of things can be some of the most ignorant things to say, but I understand it because I understand our history.
Hmm.
But you got to take care of yourself, get ahead of it, make sure that you're not waiting until you get sick in order to address your sickness
Right.
or to address the possibility of being sick.
Right.
You see? So it's really important. You have any questions or comments that we need to address here?
No, not at this time. I think we're all good.
Okay, so let's go to dysentery. Now, dysentery is a gastrointestinal disease, and it causes, uh, um, parasitic infections. It also includes like bacterial infections, and the symptoms include diarrhea, fever, nausea, vomiting, weight loss, and stomach cramps. Now, your healthcare professional, of course, can help you diagnose dysentery with a stool sample. You don't have to go in there all sick, but with a stool sample, sometimes they can really help you with treatments that include antibiotics early on. So remember, there is a place for everything. We got the natural stuff, we love it. Natural ain't all good, because natural sometimes doesn't mean healthy. So we can always go back and talk about that later. But let's go back to the gastrointestinal disease which is dysentery. The diseases are health conditions that affect the gastrointestinal tract, and you will hear me say GI tract, which means gastrointestinal. And your GI tract is the path the food takes through the digestive system from your mouth all the way down to your rectum. Remember, we went over those things, and those are some of the things that we talked about, from your mouth all the way to your rectum. It also includes your liver, your pancreas, your gallbladder. Now, some digestive system diseases cause problems that go away relatively fast with treatment, and others cause problems that are more serious. So it's best to be proactive. Now, the GI diseases can be acute or they can be chronic. Remember, we went through that before. What's the difference between acute and chronic? An acute GI, gastrointestinal disease, is one that happens suddenly and lasts for a short period of time. Whereas a chronic GI disease can affect you for many months or for your life. For a lifetime, it can go on for years. So there's a difference between the acute, which is a short period of time, and chronic, which can go on for months and years. Okay. Now they can also be either functional or structural. Now, functional GI disease is when your healthcare provider can't see any physical or structural issues when they examine your digestive tract. They cannot see any physical or structural issues. Now, when it comes down to the functional gastrointestinal diseases, you've likely experienced some severe functional GI problems in your lifetime, like constipation, gas, diarrhea, or examples like other functional GI diseases. Now, these types of GI diseases irritate your gastrointestinal tract, that's your whole digestive tract, and it leads to uncomfortable symptoms. Now, some of the most common causes of functional GI problems are eating a diet that's low in fiber or high in processed foods. That is most of America that eat these low fiber like meat, fish, chicken, turkey does not have fiber. There's no fiber there. But what you can do is that you can complement it with a nice, fluffy, delicious green salad. It can really make a big difference there. You can tell I'm hungry. But this is what we can do instead of just eating so much meat. Having meat for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and everything in between. Another thing with some of the common causes is not getting enough exercise, and I keep talking about that. Exercise. Our next exercise, those of you that are in Los Angeles, come and work out with me at the Mount Tabor Missionary Baptist Church, and that's this the third, I believe. That's April the third coming up. This is the first. We work out the first and the third Saturday of every month. So the first Saturday is coming up next week, and that starts at 9 a.m. and we go on to 11 a.m. So you have 2 hours of power there. And for those of you that it's been really a challenge to get out of that bed, look, we want to go ahead. We're going to come in. We talk about things that can really help you get on, to align yourself. We understand how food affects us in a negative way, and we talk about some of the approaches that we can overcome those ways. Let's talk also about the traveling or other changes that your typical routine, like some of the typical routine can be commuting. It can be traveling a lot. Anything, you can overdo anything, but there are several functional GI problems. Another one is stress and anxiety. So stress and anxiety, if you're around people that you got an MF this and SOB that, you may want to choose to be around other people that are, if these people are disrespecting you, you don't get any love, no good morning, grand rising, hello, who are you, and what you doing here? Nothing. And that can be something that we want to change that. So stress and anxiety, make sure that you make a plan, because a plan can really cut down the time that you're using in order to attain certain goals. Another one is holding your poop. When you hold your poop, when you hold your feces in, it's really something that you are stopping on your own. And when you need to go, you should go. And because not going can make, you can end up with polyps, those little growths on your anus and on your rectum. You can also have swollen hemorrhoids from the strain. So, pay attention to that, because it really, really makes a real big difference. Now, taking certain medicines can also be a setback too. So make sure that if you get a prescription of certain drugs, make sure that your doctor goes over that with you to let you know the side effects. And don't let any doctor just say, "Oh, you'll be all right." No, you want to make sure that what you're hearing, what you need to know, is the information that he or she is giving. Another one is hormonal changes. If a woman is going through, this is mostly for the hormones that I'm talking about, is like during pregnancy and menstruation. I'm not talking about somebody that's pissed off and got a cantankerous attitude. Right now, I'm talking about those that have the pregnancy and menstruation. Uh, It can be, these hormonal changes again, the exercising, eating healthy foods, drinking, make sure that you're hydrated and getting deep sleep. All of this helps. There's not one thing, there's not the one thing that can really make all this stuff go away. And I hear people, oh, look how healthy I eat. If you're not exercising with that nutrition, if you're not getting the sleep and the exercise with it, and if you're not in again a good environment where you're hugging your loved ones, you're touching hands, you're getting a very beautiful feeling when you're there, this can be a big problem. And lastly, before we go, I just want to say food sensitivities, because food sensitivity or something that didn't agree with you, for instance, those types of food, they should not be in your menu. They should be out. Don't force it and drink something behind it. This is something that doesn't make any sense. If it makes you sick, get rid of it. Okay. I think I want to go over. I'm not going to go through the definition of these, but I just want you to be aware of these are some of the uh, ailments that might cause you to or help you to avoid many triggers and getting more physical activity, being in a great environment. So the other things that can keep you from doing that is constipation, irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, hemorrhoids, diverticular disease, colon polyps, and colon cancer, colitis. All of these we need to talk about. Celiac disease, gastritis, gastroenteritis, acid reflux, which is called GERD. That's gastroesophageal reflux disease. That's GERD. We talked about that too, but we're going to be talking about all these things. Lactose intolerance, indigestion, which is dyspepsia, dis or dice, but mostly people pronounce this dyspepsia. And then there's also Barrett's esophagus. Now, this is when you have changes that the appearance of the lining of your esophagus. And we'll talk about that at another time. But while we're on dysentery, there's two types of dysentery, two main types. One is the amoebic dysentery, uh, uh, which is the amoebiasis, the parasite that actually is one of the main causes of amoeba dysentery. Now, that particular parasite, you have to keep in mind that if you eat meat, there is a possibility that you're going to have these different uh, parasites in your body. But if you are a person that has a meatless diet, or even a small amount but meatless diet, like a vegan, this is very important for you to know that um, those parasites can cause amoebic dysentery. There's other B. coli. We used to E. coli, but there's other ones that you can be aware of. The other type of dysentery is the Bacillary. Now, the Bacillary dysentery is a bacteria infection that causes bacillary dysentery. And some of the most bacteria that cause the bacillary dysentery include Shigella, Salmonella, Campylobacteria, and E. coli. So this is very important. Bacillar, bacillary, and the dysentery is most common uh, by that particular type. That's the most common type of the dysentery that we used to hearing from. Now, this is the anyone can get dysentery, and it's more common. It's a more common condition in tropical areas of the world with poor water sanitation. You might have heard me say before. We're out. Oh, okay. All right. If you can still hear this, thank you for tuning in, and we'll get with you next time. Oh, come on.
Hello. Didn't want to cut you off, just giving you a heads up.
Well, it's too late now. You shocked the. I'm like, okay. All right, good. All right, we're fine. Everybody, we want to go ahead and get ready to end the broadcast. We only have 1 hour, so we'll get back to. There's much more to talk about, much more to help us get better with our decisions, and much more to add to our lifestyle. Care?
Yes. Again, thank you all so much for joining us here in the Mind of Nature. If you have not, please go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It is Dr. Farid Zarif. Dr. Zarif?
Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you next Saturday, 8 a.m., right here on the same Dr. Farid Zarif channel.